Hello, Level Up Academy people. Welcome to our 50 inspirational connections brought to you by Level Up Academy. And of course, my amazing 5 ambassadors, right? And I know you guys have seen 4 of them. This is already group 5. And actually, group 5 has only 4 submissions, but they are amazing leaders. So we're gonna start, and today, guess who's helping me? My sister Susanna. I'm super excited. First things first, I want to make sure that you guys are aware we have a book anthology coming out. So it's gonna be coming out in September. Make sure to mark your calendar because, well, I don't have a specific date yet, but it's probably gonna be somewhere around September 6th. So just mark the calendar of yours, okay? Make sure that you are there supporting us. And also September 14th is when the physical book comes out. And and look at this amazing smile. Look at that. Check them out. They are so amazing, aren't they? Let's go ahead and start this show rolling. Ah. All right. So at Level Up Academy, we are looking for sponsors. So if you have publicity needs to get your company out there in every single show, I am looking for sponsors out there. So do let me know. And okay, are you guys ready? I'm going to just get right into it because we're going to have a lot of conversations that we're going to have today when it comes to inspirational connections. Okay, so hello, everybody. This is your host, Dr. Leland. And I'm going to be honest with you. It's been an amazing experience to provide 50 inspirational connections on LinkedIn, sponsored by Level Up Academy. It is not sponsored by LinkedIn by any means. It is me forming a community within a community, but very intentional community business leaders, right? I am looking for people, it's going to go on again next year, for amazing leaders who are movers and shakers in their community, and people who actually are saying, hey, I want to apply for 50 inspirational connections next year. What do I have to do? Start now. Start connecting with your people. Start showing your activities that you're doing for your community, whatever it is. There is no specific industry, there is no specific business, there is none of that. I want to see your soul, your passion exudes in the light. Alignment is everything, and intentions is everything. Some people create this illusion, right, that they are somebody or something when they're really not. And I'm watching. I'm always watching, right? So I cannot wait to have my sister Susanna. I have a surprise for you. She's blondie today. Yes, she is. Hi, sister.
Morning,
How are you,
afternoon,
my beautiful
evening,
Barbie?
pink and all. Pink, pink, pink.
I'm all right now, right? I am in that mode. So it's been a hot minute, right? Like we've had group 1 already, we had group 2, we have group 3 and 4, and now we're in group 5. How are you feeling so far? Like kind of watching and getting excited of this video submission. How are you feeling?
There's so much within these videos. The stories, the what people are doing for their community, their whys, it's just amazing when you start thinking about how they came up with many of these ideas and then they ran with it.
Yeah, our audio rooms actually has always been like an amazing place to feel the vibration, the energy of the people who's coming up every single Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
And every single Sunday is a conversation about inspirational. This was the first Sunday, or actually the first Sunday on July 21st, that I asked the people, hey, I'm going to record this, I'm going to put it in the platform. It's because I'm just trying to help start the conversation about how we communicate with each other. There is a difference between disagreement and disrespect, right?
Yes.
And if you have disagreement, that is amazing. Because if you are agreeing on everything, there is no innovation. Like you're literally just having a collaboration bias. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. We're just going to go with that. Even though you have a great idea, you might not want to say it because you're going to be disrespected, right? Because you have that feeling like this group, I don't feel safe. There's no way I'm going to open my mouth. I'm just going to agree to it, even though I don't agree to it and I have something to say, but I'm not going to say it because I know I'm going to be disrespected, right? But when you're welcome in a group without judgment and you can freely speak what you're thinking without being judged or being attacked, right? And you still have disagreement because you're not agreeing to what they're saying, but you have a way of looking at solutions in a different light. Yes, you're in disagreement, but respectfully. When you get into a tiff or a miscommunication and people are silent, that actually is worse than speaking because you're basically saying, I'm not even going to communicate with you because you're not worth my time. That is actually a form of disrespect, right? So that was a great conversations, and I am so happy that it went out to 100 countries already. So these are some of the conversations we're having on Sundays is we're getting deeper into as an inspirational leader, what are some of the elements that we should be thinking about so we can continuously improve? And what I love about it is that we don't have one answer. We have multiple answers based on our experience. Isn't that amazing?
Well, it's all those different experiences, and you ask questions that cause people to have to really think about it. You gave them enough to start with, but even just to sit there and go, what's the difference between disagreement and disrespect? What's the difference when you're talking collaboration bias, basically bias of any type, and how it infiltrates whatever's going on? So you had kind of like two separate questions, but they were related to each other. And just hearing how everybody talked about it, put it together. One of the things that I got out from what everybody was talking about was the importance of knowing you at your core as your authentic self. And that means you're not listening to what other people are telling you that you are, you should be, what you should do. You're able to step back, take control of your own life, and do what you were created to be at your core.
Mm-hmm. Like confirmation bias is really dangerous. And we do it too, right? Because when we have a conversation, one of my friends, that's the reason I do it more with you guys more than any other friends that I have. It's because I have known to I've known to love your judgment, and I've known where you're coming from in terms of your judgment on people. So here's the confirmation bias is dangerous because let's say, for example, let's just take Democrat or Republican, the politics. You know, I hate politics, but this is a good example though,
Both of us.
right? I hate politics. I think they're both disgusting, but whatever. So let's say that you have like you're a Democrat and you're saying, "Oh my God, Republicans are this, blah blah blah," or you're a Republican and you're saying, "Oh my God, Democrats are this." You only tend to actually watch TV shows, listen to podcasts who are in alignment with who you actually chose to be, right?
Right.
Now, in business, if let's say for example you have a newcomer for a vice president or a president, and you happen to only align with the previous one because you love them, you had work with them, and then you hear a little snippet from the little birdie called gossip vine and said, that new VP, god, she thinks she's all that because she has all this. And guess what? You're going to intentionally look for whatever that person told you what this person has. You don't even give the opportunity of that person because of the fact that someone already said this is it. So that confirmation bias is so dangerous, right? And we have to be cognizant about it. And usually with us, we have a conversation like, sister, I don't feel good energy from this person. And we always say, why? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why? Why would you do that, right? Well, it's not like, "Oh, because I don't like the way he looks." We don't ever say that. We're just
No.
it's the way he talks, very demeaning. It's the way they actually think about certain things. And we were in this audio room, and they were saying this. But you know what? Why don't you do me a favor and like listen in? So then you tell me maybe I'm crazy. I usually say that, right? Like maybe I'm crazy. Just go look at these people. But I don't ever tell you don't ever go with this person because of this. It's always when we get rid of people in our lives in our circle, we actually vet them. We talk about it. It's in the
Right.
process. And we don't just agree either. You're like, yeah, sure. And we don't ever look at, and you're like, I'm always playing devil's advocate. I'm like, but why, sister? Right? And you're like, well, because of this, and this. And when I think about it, I sit there, I'm like, okay, but I'm so curious. Let me go check it out. And then I check it out and confirm
Right.
without I'm always trying to like not be biased, but in the back of my head I'm like, oh, maybe they are. So a slight, I mean, I'd be lying if I say I'm 100% not biased. Of course I am, because I value your opinion, right? Because consistently we're doing that. But it's dangerous when you're a business leader, when you're not giving opportunities for people to grow and to actually get to know them, because we are all allowed bad day. What if I had a bad day that day and we had in a Zoom because we had a Zoom, and I'm just okay. Yeah, sure. That's not my personality. But what if I showed up like that? You're like, oh my God, CJ was boring and she was like disrespectful of my time. And you're like, CJ, are you sure? Yeah, she was. And so the next person who's he hear that who doesn't even know me will say, okay, let me go and get Zoom with her. And now they're thinking, oh, I'm gonna see if how disrespectful CJ is of my time and all that. You see what I mean? Like that's dangerous. So I love that conversation because it's necessary as a leader and also as a business owner, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we surround ourselves with people all the time. So if you surround yourself with people who doesn't have your back, they're always going to give you bad feedback.
Well, I'll give you one other direction on the confirmation bias is when people only get the data to support what they want instead of looking at it as a whole and seeing what it really says. Cherry picking instead of seeing that maybe it's not as skewed as you're trying to make it.
Mm-hmm. And usually the people who are loudmouth out there who's talking crap about other people is actually the people who's crappy. I'm just saying, because the people who are not talking about other people, we're busy hustling. We're like, gotta hustle, don't have time for this, and we just keep going. Plus, we don't need negative energy, right? And that's what I love about those audio rooms. And I cannot wait to actually show you today some of these things. I'll be honest with you, I am so busy. I have not had a chance to actually check out some of these videos. So this will be interesting for sure. Uh,
Perfect.
oh man, hold on one second. I think I don't know why, but one of the videos I'm not able to see at all. And it's Michelle's too. Let me take a look. Because I really love Michelle Ramos. She is fighting for a good fight, fighting for a good cause. And at the end of the day, I want to make sure that I have her video, but I don't know if I can actually watch it. And see, it's not downloading properly. Let's see if it's gonna see. Okay, she
now, we're given statistics on every possible topic from gun violence to sex trafficking, child abuse to divorce rates, failing education to financial crisis, and more. But where does it stop? Don't Raise Statistics, an organization based out of Northeast Ohio, is on the mission to break this cycle. It's my belief that by providing desperately needed resources such as after school activities, job and trade training, mentoring, food banks, and shelters, we can start to create a positive change where our youth and families and communities are no longer just a statistic, we're defying them. My name is Michelle Ramos, and I'm the founder of Don't Raise Statistics, currently located in Northeast Ohio. We have ambitious goals to build resilient communities worldwide. When I began putting the thoughts to paper and working on this manifestation, it all came from a lack of the support or the resources available in the gray areas of life that I was experiencing. I could turn to one resource and be told that funding wasn't available, or I could turn to another resource to be referred somewhere else because simply I didn't meet the criteria that was necessary to get support. You get to a point where, after seeking help for so long and not finding it, you learn how to light the path yourself. Let's say about 10 years ago, give or take, is when I really started taking the thoughts and putting them to paper, because ultimately what is most important is going to be addressing the critical needs of communities across the world and taking them from where they're just statistics and they're defying them and they're now resilient communities. One of the questions that we were asked is, how is your organization helping your community? And the reality is, in my situation, the real time in this moment impact, I can't really comment on it. What I do know is that within the hustle and the bustle of all the static and the noise of the internet and management and legal teams and court systems and just the realities of what we're experiencing, I know that nobody should ever feel that they need to run away from the community where they live to find a community of support. And it's really important to know that where some pain and some suffering may have been indirectly inflicted, every single day I wake up and I make it a point to extend forgiveness. Not because maybe they even know that it's needed in my community, but to know that I really want to make a difference and be heard for the right reasons. Sometimes the hard conversations aren't possible to have with those people in that moment, and that's okay. I need to extend the forgiveness and embrace my faith to know that the path that I'm walking is the path that's meant to be taken, and that it's not to discourage or to belittle anybody of a position of power or a position where they might be an influential leader. The purpose of the message is to bring awareness and to educate so many across the world that don't even know what the reality of the situation is or could be. The driving force behind Don't Raise Statistics is very much contributed to my daughter. She is my teacher in life. When I thought that I was going to become a parent and that I was going to be this teacher, this role model, and this guide, I was very quick to learn that my child is my teacher. I'm learning lessons and going through circumstances that are molding and defining who I am. And without having to be a parent and go through these and having to know what it means to want better and to do better and to need better for our children and to ensure that the future leaders of our world are like equipped to handle the circumstances and realities that they're going to face, that's the driving force behind my mission.
What do you think?
Wow. I like
Okay.
I really like how she talks about her daughter being her teacher.
Yeah, I take that all the time too, right? I'm like, God, Bella is so smart. I didn't even think about this thing. right? You're right. Our kids are our teacher. They're actually
Yeah.
better because it's scary. She's like, Mom, I got this because of you. I'm like, oh, shut up, shut up. I know. Because she has a shopping issue. And she told her best friend, I think I got it from my mom. Wait, I got it from my dad. Wait, I got it from both. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, that
it's
is
scary what they get from us.
seriously. So, first of all, Michelle, I apologize. Um, the movement, because Duke decided to go underneath my camera stick, his Cheerio to calm her down so she doesn't bite my ankle. She wants to go to bed now. And decided to leave in the middle of that conversation. So that is me being authentic. Like there is no editing on that one. It's just gonna happen. Like that's just how it works. But back to Michelle, thank you for your honesty. Thank you for some people would filler it out just to fill it out. But being authentic was saying, I don't know what the impact that I'm gonna do because I'm just new
Right.
to this. I love that.
It's an honesty that, quite frankly, I think a lot of people, that's where they're at, but they feel like they can't say that. They have to have an answer
Mhm.
of substance. And sometimes we can't have that answer of substance. It's not possible sometimes until after we've gone beyond it and realized we got beyond it.
Yeah. And I love that I'm trying to show people that in order for you to be inspirational, you don't have to make it so big that people can even relate to you to be inspirational. Being inspirational is just being human, being able to tell your truths and not make everything so perfect. There's no such thing, right?
Right.
And my heart breaks for Michelle because I know her background and she's fighting a good fight, but it's going to be an uphill battle for her. But the fact that she's doing it the same alignment as what I say is because we believe in our children. They are the future of this world. We are a global citizen. And I keep saying we are a global citizen because we are. My
Yeah.
kid could be whatever later on, or could be somebody else something later on, but they're going to make an impact in their community. And who's going to show them how to do it if not us? Right. And so her daughter is watching her, how she's fighting the good fight. And
Yep.
so, Michelle, thank you for being authentic and thank you for being you. We appreciate you so much.
Absolutely. I loved it.
Me too, with all my holding my cell phone. How am I going to do this? I literally had to pause this recording because I needed to figure out. And I think you were just sending me stuff, and I'm like, that's okay. We got to figure out. She's probably saying, oh no, I'm not going to be seen. No, no, no. See, I will not stop until I figure something out. And I'm very resourceful and I will figure out
Oh,
things
yes.
quickly. And I was like, well, I got an iPad here. I got another computer. What do you mean it's not possible? We don't take no for no possibilities. I don't care what I have to do. So that was really fun. And I told you, you will love Michelle in terms of her tenacity, right?
Yep.
We are going to go with brother. Are you ready?
Ollie.
Woo! There it is. The bro is still dark. Oh, hold on one second. Alrighty then, we found the right one. Here he goes.
Hi everyone, my name is Oli, and this is an imperfect video. I have some challenges to express myself and my passion for 3 to 4 minutes or 5 minutes. The first part will be here, right now, and the second part will last at the end 30 to 60 seconds in my favorite element where I feel really at ease. So, why do I do my business as a neuro language coach? So it's about helping people to learn and improve French and languages. And then I will reply, what do I do to help my community? So why do I do that? I was not always doing that. For 20 years, I was evolving between searching for a job and working administrative. And my best moments in the 2000s were when I was secretary. But back in the days, in the 80s and 90s, I was visiting sometimes my grandfather and playing crosswords with him, and also searching for the dictionary in French, all the words. This is a 68 dictionary, bear with me. And I was building an index that is probably 35
Wow.
or even 40, almost 40 years old index, for allowing me to search easily the illustration. So, for instance, I'm just showing randomly an illustration, and I was able to find it easily with my index. And so, my passion about French came from my grandfather. Then, in secondary school, my second person that helped me in that was my French teacher. Really, he was changing my life. Not only about the books that I read, the poetry that I learned, the diction exercises, like un chasseur sachant chasser son chien est un bon chasseur, but also about the critical thinking and the power of appreciation, giving me a score of 194 to 200 on a poem. And movies also. So the second person was my French teacher. The third person is Rachel Padding, neuro language coach, neuro language network. She is the founder of the effective language coaching. And during the pandemic, already in 2020, I was doing a training to become a trainer because I was connecting with my passion of language in 2019. Then in 2022, I discovered the effective way to teach and coach language. So that's why I'm doing that. My passion about words, about language, everyone who is following me knows all my puns. I'm the master of puns. My brain is on fire about that. So my passion about words and about language, this is my why. And I can tell you more, but at the same time, I would like to give more space in the nature. So bear with me. Thank you so much. And let's go visit my elements in the nature. 3, 2, 1. Auprès de mon arbre, je vivais heureux. J'aurais jamais dû le quitter des yeux. So I have 1 minute. C'est de la dynamique. La dynamite et de la dynamique to help to say to you the second part only in his own element in the nature. It's raining. It's not raining, but the sky is gray, but it's okay. I will always evolve in nature to self-regulate myself. And so I was forgetting, but I do remember. Thank you again, CJ, for allowing me to share my story. And feel free to know more about that by purchasing the book, which will help also to plant trees in Madagascar. So this was resonating with me. And what do I do for my community? I present myself in videos like that in my Shlo Collate, and I do one-on-one coaching, group coaching. I have also a membership, and anything's in progress. So thank you so much. Bye.
He's so on fire.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my god, when you start speaking French really fast, I was like, okay, my brain's hurting, Ollie. Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm speechless. He to me is inspirational because I don't know if you guys know his story, but he's been bullied growing up.
Right.
And instead of staying down, he's giving energy back to his community. When he's down and he's not feeling good, he's literally vocal about it. You're like, I'm going to be gone for a bit. I just need to recoup. And I love that about him. He's very transparent in what he's trying to do. Whether you like him or not, it doesn't matter to him anymore because he found that being himself, he'll attract more people who likes him for him and not for somebody else who's not him. And I don't know if you see the theme so far, sister, but we attract people who we want to attract. So if you want to pretend to be somebody, you're going to attract somebody who's pretending to be somebody too, right?
And Ollie is one of the most genuine people. It's a blessing when you see him in the comments of our live shows. And not only is he just there, because I mean, for a lot of us, it's you make a comment here, make a comment here. Sometimes it's just to let people know you're there.
For a second, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, yes, I showed up. I'm supporting you, but that's how they are. That's just
Yeah.
that, which is fine. Not
Mhm.
asking for more. Ollie gets in there, and he's making puns, playing with the words. Whatever's being discussed, he comes up with the most creative ways to restate it in a way that's totally different, maybe, than what we were talking about, yet hits the topic like a nail on the head. And the joy that he brings just comes through everything.
Yeah, his energy is somebody that is so genuine. Like, when you're looking at, like, I love puppies or I love babies. Like, when I see those being, right? When I see them, I'm like, my heart melts. Like, oh my God, it's so cute. When I see Ali, it's like, oh my God, he's so amazing. This energy is always there. It's because he genuinely support you without like being asked and without asking for anything back, right? And
Yep.
so, and he doesn't forget the people who made a difference in his life. He doesn't forget the people of where he come from, no matter who he meets. That's one thing I love about Ollie since last year that I met him. So yeah, thank you so much, bro, for being you. I love that.
And he
Um,
closes with a forest. I'll take that
I
because for
know.
me, it's like
Don't
doing
book.
is what I have, and he's got his forest.
That's right. And then I love the magic in 3, 2, 1. Boom. I love the editing
Yes.
magic. I truly love it. So we have one more submission. This one is actually from Mr. Elliot Bailey Obsidian. So this is basically him. Just watch it. Like, instead of me like, presenting it and sharing it. So just watch it, because this is like in action of what he does for his community actually. So do you see it?
Yep.
Chi Chi has gone crazy.
It's Obsidian Gold Limited, and it's a hemp construction. Obsidian Gold.
He's doing a recording.
Thank you. Kind of rotate your body towards me as well there.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Okay, can you just introduce yourself and tell us what it is that you're doing here today?
Hello. So my name is Elliot Bailey, and I'm the CEO and founder of Obsidian Gold Limited. And today I'm here pretty much getting some hands-on experience on how to build with hemp construction materials, and just to broaden my knowledge on the building material and how we use it in construction.
And what are your thoughts about it so far?
I mean, getting my hands-on experience, I love it. It's something that can easily be taught, which I love. And so my objective today was to get as much hands-on experience as I possibly did, so that I can take it back and share it with the guys at my company.
What are your thoughts about the kind of climate issues and how that addresses it, with it being a kind of carbon neutral material, and also, I guess, the low impact, low cost of it?
I honestly love that, because construction this day and age can be very effective. I mean, expensive. And so the fact that you can grow it in your backyard and then turn around to use those same materials in a home is definitely beneficial, I think, to anybody that's looking to build a hemp home or use hemp to build a home in the future.
How did you hear about this?
I heard about hemp construction through actually a cannabis realtor, and so it was somebody I was sitting down with to kind of talk about real estate within the cannabis sector. Because originally I was going to be a construction general contractor for cannabis related items and within that industry. And he was like, "Hey, have you heard about hemp?" And it was something that I hadn't heard of, and so once I did my research and I kind of went on the internet and kind of YouTubed it and got a little bit more information, found the community. I just fell in love with it, and I haven't stopped researching and trying to develop it for myself and things like that.
How do you think you might be able to integrate what you've learned today?
The cool thing is I'll be able to integrate it right away, and so it's beautiful that I can use the do's and the don'ts that we did learn and some of the fail forwards that we learned today and use it right away within a construction build. And so one of the things is something as simple as a green home, which we're building today. A lot of that stuff correlates to a tiny home or ADU or anything like that. So it's just really just knowing the basics of how you mix a material, then how you apply the material to the home, and then the phases of that afterwards.
What do you thoughts on climate and where we're going at the moment? What do you think that's going to Yeah, what are your thoughts about this coexistence that we're going through?
Obviously there's a time for change, and so I think that the more people that we get educated and knowledgeable on hemp is the better. I think the way forward is hemp, and I think that we just need to educate people from the architect sector, from the home building sector, from even the I want to say the politics sector. Just the more knowledge that people know about the benefits that hemp can play in this part, and apart from growing it all the way to construction, it's I think it's a no-brainer. And so if the end goal is to change the climate control and the way that we're going now, then for sure.
Right. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
What do you think? At first, it was like, I'm not sure what the submission was, but it basically is the only thing because he's very like busy getting into his community and helping his community because he owns a business that helps his community, and he does a lot of construction, and so he's going through different types of people on um, certain buildings that he himself are like thinking, okay, what can I do for my community to actually be sustainable, and see that we can afford in a smaller budget, that we can help our community to do this types of construction, right? And I didn't even know that you can like there's money for doing hemp trees to create ADU. I was like, I didn't know that. I got educated.
Yeah,
um,
that I'm not familiar with. Although the video is very you. And I say that because he's not taking the time to do the same thing twice or three times. He's found a way to streamline it.
mhm.
Do a submission, do the other thing, do them at the same time. So a little bit of that is like you. When he goes into the construction, when he goes into the hemp and the sustainability, that's all stuff that I'm very familiar with, as well as the ADUs, because I haven't done the ADUs, but I've been to some conferences about them in my previous life, which was in construction. It's just mine wasn't residential. I was doing commercial, industrial, and design builds.
I did both. I did as an account manager. I was always going for construction. I have no idea what the names are, and I had to really study. What is a skilled worker? How much is it per hour? What are some dig ditchers? What are, who are the decision makers? And because I had a goal, my goal was to sell, but I also had to learn strategy. Who do I need? Like, within a month, I literally surpassed their top agents for account management and construction. And they're like, wait, aren't you a teacher? How is the teacher doing sales like this? And I was like, you gave me the software to look how much is this budget. So if my goal is 50,000, do you think I'm going to be knocking on doors for 100,000 budget? No, I'm looking 500,000 to 2 million because I know even 10 million, they have more budget. So if I can get even construction sites that are commercial, like McDonald's, I know banks, they have budgets. If I go to commercials, I better look at like Lennar, big commercials, because then I know I can give you dig ditchers, I can give you skilled workers, and these are the amounts. And I know who my competitors are, and I can sell them saying, hey, you want to do an ADU? Do you make sure that you have the skilled worker for ADU? Because there's certain electrical parts, there's certain measurements in there. And they're like, what? How do you know? I'm like, I just know what I know. But I literally was interviewing everyone. And when I bring in my workers, they usually drive. I don't do that. I said, no, no, I will drive you to your destination. And I even made a bribery for my people. I'm like, listen, you get paid every week, right? I get paid every 2 weeks. If I didn't get any complaints from any of my customers and you did a great job, you get a Starbucks card in my next paycheck. None of my people quit on me. None of them stole anything on any construction sites, right? And then my manager's like, why did you do that? I'm like, strategy. And she's like, no, you're just cute. I'm like, cute with strategy. Like I always say that.
Bingo. Bingo.
Oh my god! But I know construction because of that. But I'm not an expert. I know enough to sell for sure. Oh yeah, but that was the hardest job,
And
sister. I
it,
did. It was intimidating. All men, big men, slobby men, stinky men. I'm sorry, but like, ooh.
yeah.
And my boss said, CJ, you need a t-shirt or a polo, and you cannot wear makeup like that because I had my makeup. And you need a hard hat, and you need a vest, an orange vest. I'm like, can I have a pink one? No, has to be orange. I'm like, dang it. He goes, you can't wear heels. You have to wear steel toe boots. I was like, is there a cute pink steel? Okay, CJ, we're not doing pink. So I had to have the cutest boots, and because it has to be steel toe, it was expensive. I still have it
Right.
actually, and I changed the lace into double, like regular lace and pink. I had to put pink in there.
Exactly. No. And so it's like, yeah, I listen to him as he's talking about the construction and the way he's always looking for the ways to help the community and to make things and thinking about what and you've got your construction background. I've got mine. They're different, but they're similar.
Mhm.
Because I was the general contractor. So I understand that part. I did everything, which I understand that too, because I did all the estimating,
Mhm.
the contract negotiations with with the owners,
Yep.
working with the architect engineers, oftentimes after I'd already designed the project and sold it.
Mhm.
And I get this feeling that he's in that same position, that he can do those same kind of things. And that is not easy to do.
Yeah, it's balancing act, literally pulling all the resources together for a project, but you need to make sure you have redundancy because some of the people you hire don't show up, or some of the people that show up don't do the right job. So you have to do quality control. Then some of the people run away or smoke or anything, and they're supposed to be working because they're paid per hour, but they're not. And then there's this timeline, called due dates, because the fire people are gonna check on this thing, and like all this balancing thing. It's like, wow, I didn't realize how much work involved in this thing. And I appreciated it, but I think the hardest job ever was definitely construction. I would drive everywhere to Riverside, and I love driving, but going to construction on a rainy day was the worst because then I get muddy. So I literally am like, excuse me, either can you get the person who's in charge here in front of me? Like I'm usually at the gate. Or is there like a truck that you can take me to over there? And they would drive me on some truck. And my husband's like, you go into stranger's truck? I'm like, no, no, it's on site. I just needed to go like a quarter of a mile, but I wasn't walking in the mud. Like, no, like
Oh
that's my
no.
yeah. So my manager gave me a mud boots so that I can go in the mud boots with my boots. I'm like, that is way too much work. I'll just have them drive me. And my boss is like, "Ugh, I give up." And some of those big construction guys, like the architect people, they gave me a vest from their own company because I needed a zipper. Because one time I didn't have my, I guess I needed a pen and a paper to like notes of the name and the time. And I'm like, oh crap, I don't have it. And I was going to record it in my iPhone, but they didn't feel comfortable doing that. They're like, no, no, just write it in the paper. So I did that thing 3 times and I was so upset because I keep forgetting.
Right.
And so one of the architect guy gave me his architecture. I guess they have, I didn't even know that too. Like certain workers in construction have different type of like vest. So
Some
you
of them
know
will.
who's the boss, right? So the boss gave me his vest, and because it has a zipper that you can put pen and paper, and that's the only reason. So I won't forget.
It probably had the company name on it too.
Yeah, in the back. It wasn't even my company, it was their company. They're like, well,
That's
you're a
part of
walking
it.
advertisement. It's fine with me, CJ. I can buy another one. I'm like, oh, thanks. Wait, does it
This
have your name in it? And they're like, no. I'm like, okay, then I can wear it.
this is called marketing. You're gonna wear that to other sites. It's like if in the video he had his own company jacket, that's what he wants to be wearing everywhere because that's what he wants everybody to see. It's just the
Mhm.
architects found a way to get you to advertise for them.
I know they would ask, like, you work for Lennar? I'm like, no. Well, I know Joe. That's Joe's jacket. I'm like, I know Joe too. Joe gave it to me. What? He has those. I'm like, yeah. Like, I needed paper and pen. See, I have paper and pen now. And they're like, CJ, you're something else. I'm like, I know. Anyway, so do you need workers today? Like, I would give them Jamba Juice. I would, and they're like, how do you do that? I said, well, and I didn't also know that certain projects actually can only be done by the union construction. There's a union construction. I didn't freaking know that. I'm like, what is the difference? They're like, no, the contract only from the union. They do not do anything else. Do not go in there. It's a hospital. It needs a lot. Like they need a lot of workers. They're like, CJ, we don't do unions. I'm like,
There's
fine.
more than that.
Yikes.
I had sites that we had to double gate. So the non-union go through one gate and the union goes through the other, and then they can work in the same place.
Oh yeah, this construction. It's if it's union, they only do union. Period. It's the huge hotel by the beach in Oceanside where we ate. Those hotels that you see that I drive you guys through. Those are all union construction. And so I couldn't touch them. But every houses that you see that's brand new, those were my accounts. Even the hotels behind, those were my accounts. And it took me like 3 months to keep coming back until they got tired of me. And I'm like, why aren't you just giving me a chance to like give me a small piece of your workers that you need? And they're like, CJ, fine, I'll get 10 people from UNC. I'm like, okay, thanks. Here's the contract, sign it, please, and then pay up on this one. They're like, okay. So they did. And my manager's like, you got in? I'm like, persistency is the key. I'm going to go get coffee now. Bye. So that's what I did. It was fun. But I got to say, it was very hard. Construction is hard work.
It
So,
is.
Elliot, good job. And I
Yeah.
like the sustainability. Um, I like that he has repurposed his video, like you said, to streamline.
Yep.
There were two more people actually that didn't weren't able to submit it on time, so we are going to just end here with Elliot. Any last minute thing that you would like to add, sister?
Well, I was just thinking about all of them, and one of the common themes, again, we kind of talked about this earlier, is each of these people are being their authentic self in all that they do. You get the feeling when you listen to each of them talk, they know who they are, they know what they are, they know what they want to do, and they go and do it. And they
Action.
are not, me in boxes. These are not people that can ever live in a box.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. They're rebel with a cause. I think we're doing our book with puns. It's like we are definitely moving beyond those boxes because we what We don't want to survive. We want to thrive because we are all rebel with a cause. Oh, I love this sentence in
It,
all three books.
it's all three books. I can't wait to see what happens when the fourth one comes in, because that's just going to be a longer sentence.
Oh my god. Okay, we're gonna have to think about. Wait, we haven't even started the third one yet.
We haven't started the third one, and I'm the one that's got to come up with the fourth one. So
Yeah, I love this. People are like, well, I don't have time right now for this, but like, maybe next time. I'm like, yeah, we do it every 3 months. It's fine. You can go in. But what we do not do, Susanna and I, is we don't do boring. We don't do the
no,
same theme over and over, and we don't do that. We don't have those things. Susanna does her own books, solo books, but those are mystery story. For our anthologies, we have different theme depending on what we're going through right now in our experiences, and the people who are feeling it, who are actually reverberating their energy, and it's like, okay, I want to do this is so exciting. Then those are the people who are going to be in it. And I even told you, I'm like, well, sister, if it's just the two of us, it's going to be the two of us. We're going to have this book done.
we'll
um,
have it done, and that means we just have to do like 4 chapters each. But hey,
we can do it.
we
We have
can
a
do it.
month. We literally do one chapter in 2 hours. We're fine. We're not concerned of like, oh my god, our reputation, oh my god, I have to repeat. No, we're not concerned about that. It's like, you're in it or you're not in it. You're in it to win it. We are in it to win it for everybody.
Exactly.
And we want everyone in Level Up Academy to feel good about what they have written, who the people they're working with, and that's something that you're proud of, right? Some of my anthologies I'm not so proud of. I'm like, oh, please hide it. But this one
No,
that we've been doing together, it's amazing because not just because we did it, it's because we have lots of lessons learned of what not to do, even in our own anthology. Like
oh
right
yeah,
now, I'm thinking about the Zoom, the editing, second editing Zoom. First, we did it 30 minutes and Beyond Boundaries. That didn't work very well. Then we have moving boxes for 45 minutes. It's still needing that extra 15. So I think this third one, I'm going to do an hour and 15 minutes. That's
yeah,
literally 30 minutes more. I think it's going to work this time.
yeah. They need at least an hour,
Yeah.
because it takes time to read a chapter. Just because it's only 3,000 words does not mean that you can read it verbally that quickly, much less mentally, unless you're a speed reader. Yeah, she's going. Yeah, she's a speed reader.
I was like, well, I grade too much. Okay, we're not talking about me. We're talking about people right now. But yes, sometimes you have to also process what you're reading, right? Sometimes you might have to
Exactly.
read it twice and said, hey, can you read that paragraph again? Because it's helping me edit that paragraph, right? Because we talked about like when we do some editing, we make sure that you kind of see where you need to edit. When people pause for a moment and they're like kind of confused on what they're reading the first time, you got to check that out. So everything we do is inspirational. I am so glad that this 50 inspirational submissions are from the heart, very authentic, and very
So hearted.
exciting, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, thank
they're
you,
all so
everybody.
hearted.
We will be back for group 6. Bye, everyone.
Hi.